It is Wednesday, May 18th, 2016. Looking outside, look like it's getting kind of cloudy, like it's about to rain outside. I wanted to share with you all a story from what years ago. The year was in 1993. It was about May of 1993 to be exact. And I had purchased my very first house. I was 23 years of age. And I had got my very first home, and it had a swimming pool in the backyard. Well, I bought the house. I always say I bought a swimming pool with a house attached to it, because that's pretty much how I saw it. But I bought this house, this beautiful home, and it had a swimming pool in the backyard. I was 23. So as summer was approaching, I spent some time getting the house ready to have just some painting done, cleaning up, yard work. The house was already in immaculate condition. I wanted to do things my way. I was young and stupid. I spent a lot of money on that house. I probably didn't have to do, ripping out brand new carpet and flooring and putting in all this different stuff. So when I finally got the house the way I wanted it, I had a pool party. It was the very first pool party. And I invited my friends over. Everybody was all excited. We were having hamburgers and hot dogs and ribs. I had brought this fancy grill. I actually had two grills. But we were expecting a huge crowd of people for this pool party. And I had all these swimsuits, and we were just really went all out for this party because we were excited. It was our pool party. We had pools together, and everybody was all happy to be there. And I can remember being in my bedroom upstairs, getting ready, taking a shower, getting ready for the pool party. And next thing I know, my room filled with all these people. And I'm like, everybody's rushing into the room. I'm like, what the hell is going on? They were rushing into the room, and they closed the door. I'm like, well, you look at about 10, 15 people who just burst into the room and then closed the door. And I'm standing there like, they said, Walter, somebody's here at the house. And I said, okay, what's the problem? Is it the police? I thought it was the police and something coming to get my ass. And I was doing some illegal shit back then. But that's why we'll talk about it. Well, I've talked about that in plenty of other videos, but I'm thinking the police at the damn house. I'm like, well, shit, should I jump out the window and run? What? They said it was a guy at the door, and they didn't want to let him in. They didn't want him at the pool party. So I remember saying, okay. So I'm standing there listening to this. They said the guy at the door was HIV positive. He had AIDS, full-blown AIDS. And they did not want to let him into the house. They didn't want to let him get into the pool. And they wanted me to go down there and chase him away, or we were going to hide out upstairs until he left. This was unacceptable to me. I could not believe I was hearing my ears. I looked at those guys and said, oh no, this is crazy. This is my house. These are my guests that are arriving here. I looked out the window and I recognized the guy. I said, okay, guys, there's nothing wrong with him coming to this party. There's nothing wrong with him swimming in this pool. I'm letting him in. So here I was, 1 against 15. And they were like, don't. They were so adamant. I was like, guys, this is my house. I'm paying for this party. This is my house. I am letting this guy into this party. I don't care what you all say. And I remember going down the steps. And they were up there still in the room and everything, just standing up there. I went down the steps and opened up that door. Let that man come in there, introduce myself to him. Just someone I really didn't know him at that time. I just knew him from seeing him out of the club and, just various places. But I could tell that he was now ill. And so I let him know, come on. He came on in, gave him a hug. We went into the kitchen. We made a drink. We were sitting out there. And I didn't tell him what was going on inside that house while he was standing out there for 15 minutes waiting for somebody to come open their door. I could not tell that man that. So anyway, as the party went on, he came into the house. I gave him a drink. We sat out by the pool. People came to the party. He swam in the pool. Everything went great. As the party went on, gradually I got to spend some time with him to get to know him. And I remember sitting by the pool eating a hot dog, and I was busy. I'm the host, so I'm busy running around all this shit. And he kept trying to talk to me, so I would go and talk to him because nobody else really wanted to talk to him. So it was a different world back then. I'm just telling you what was going on. And I did not like this. So I sat there by the poolside with him. It was this bench, this long bench by the pool. I never forget it. It was a brick wall that had this bench, and everybody would sit up. Everybody would gather around the bench by the pool and stare at the people in the pool when they wouldn't swim. And I sat there talking with him, and I remember him pulling out his wallet and showing me pictures. This man had been in the military. Forgive me for a minute, y'all, because I'm going through some shit over here. I'm going through a lot. I'm going through a lot because people are attacking me. I'm hurt by this. I've always been the person to fight for people. I'm really hurt by what a lot of people are saying to me and things that they're doing. And I'm really hurt that people see me as this horrible person. And I did so much stuff for people who were positive. This man showed me his pictures. He had been in the military. I remember this like it was yesterday. And I sat there and I looked at those pictures and we talked. And I got to know this guy. And we became friends. We became friends, and he would come out to the house to visit me. I was living out there by myself. And he would come over to visit and hang out, and we would just sit by the pool. I don't like what people are saying about me because they don't know me. They don't know who I am, and they don't know what I stand for. There was no way I was going to turn that man away from that party because he was positive. Later on, every person that was in that room that was trying to turn him away from that door, every one of my friends that was in that room died from AIDS, all of them, every last one of them. All of them. When I look back at that period of my life, at all the people I knew, I'm the only person who's still here. I've lost so many friends to HIV and AIDS that it's just astounding to me. And that guy that used to come over there and hang out with me by the pool, who was in the military, eventually passed away too. I know what it means to deal with HIV and the stigma that comes with it, because I've seen so many of my friends dealing with it. I've seen complete strangers dealing with it. I was just HIV mess didn't exist, but it does exist. I did a lot for people. I've stood by a lot of friends, going to hospitals, hospices. They used to have a place on 10th and 14th Street. It was an AIDS hospice where people would go to die, and I would go there and visit people I knew and stand by them. I remember going to Grady Hospital, Crawford Long Hospital, Georgia Baptist Hospital, watching my friends die. I was the only person who would show up and support these guys. Nobody else was around. I did this for years. I don't like the way people are trying to make me out to be this horrible person. That I hate people with HIV and AIDS or who are HIV positive. That I hate people. People are saying that I hate people who are living with HIV, and that's not true. Because everyone I know today is positive. They're still alive. People, all of my current friends, our associates, are HIV positive. I know what they're going through. I'm not this bad person who's out to hurt or harm anyone. And I hate what people are saying about me. And I hate that I have to defend myself. Because I know what my heart is. And I know what type of person I am. My goal is to keep our younger brothers and sisters negative because I know the devastating effects of HIV. I know what it can do to a person. I can't tell people, I can't go around telling people that HIV can harm you because I know it can. I know it can kill you. It's funny because I'm in the process of planning some events. That's why this pool party came across my mind. I was thinking, back in 1993 when I had that pool party. And I thought about this for years, how those guys stood in my bedroom that day, attempting to get me to not allow this man into that house because he was positive. We were all gay men. All of us were black gay men. HIV has had a devastating effect on the black gay community. I've seen it with my own two eyeballs. I've witnessed it. I'm 46 now. I used to think that I wouldn't make it to 30 because I kept seeing all my friends get sick and die. And every time I would get sick, anything would happen, I think this is it. My turn now. I made it to 46. My goal is to get to 50, HIV free. Anyway, I'm exhausted. I need to take a nap. Thank you all for who have supported me through these past weeks. I've got a lot of support from all over, from everywhere. But I've got a lot of hate. It just kind of wore on my soul. It tends to, after a while, everything just gets to be exhausting. I just had a long phone conversation with a friend of mine who supports me. He could tell I was exhausted. Guys, I'm wore out.